Yo, you are here with the MCW Tag Team Champions, Rush Hour, and that makes Showtime! Dion Epps.
And Hot Boy, Tommy Seto.
And you're watching O Face Wrestling.
That's right. Oh, Face Wrestling. Listen to the podcast. Listen. They are Dark Side approved. Howden approves it. Oh, Face Wrestling. I'll be listening. Will you?
Come and listen to O Face Wrestling Podcast with your favorite Siren the Voodoo Doll, aka Nina Monet.
I'm the one-eyed, thick-thighed woad, and you're watching O Face Wrestling.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today on O Face Wrestling. This is your host JT, and today I am joined by Dabria X.
Hi.
So thank you for joining us today, Dabria.
Thank you.
So I reached out to you about coming on the show today because I wanted to kind of like learn your story and just hear about your journey and the wrestling business. So let's kind of start from the beginning. So in general, like what made you actually want to get into being a professional wrestler?
It's just a funny story. Actually, during my junior year of high school, I was going to a vocational technical school, and I had this project I had to do, a video project, and I was like, I don't know what I want to do my video on because I don't like anything. He was like, well, you like wrestling, right? And I'm like, yeah. Like, then go find wrestlers to interview. And I was like, how do I do that? So I went online and I actually found CCW, Compact Zone Wrestling, and I just decided to go interview the owner and another wrestler. You know him very well, Drew Gulak.
Yes.
So I interviewed them both, and then that's when I just saw the school, saw the wrestling ring, and I was like, wow, I really just want to do this as like a career. So that's when I decided, like, wow, I really want to do this. But I wasn't able to start training until later because I was only a junior and I can't drive back and forth from a small town in Pennsylvania to New Jersey.
So what school did you start training in New Jersey, you said?
CCW Dojo.
CCW Dojo. And tell me a little bit about that school and your training and all that.
It's so honestly, it's just like the best thing that happened to me. There's this bunch of people, like different people with like different experience. Like when I first started, I was there with my trainer, and there was Preacher and Joe Gacy and the Rep, and there's just more people now. Like Jimmy Wave is there now, and it's like, how could anyone like pass up with this like opportunity to learn from all these people with these different experiences? Like, it's like so so great for me because I learn differently from others. It takes me a while for things to click for me. So everyone just like took it easy, but not like hold my hand because like you have to do it. Like you need to learn eventually. So, and then all of a sudden just clicked for me, and then I just started doing it, and everyone was like so proud of me, and just like you improved so much, and I'm so like we want to like do more things with you. So yes.
So as far as like the training, like when you first started training, tell me about the physical toll like it took on your body.
Wow, it's like it takes a big toll, like especially on my first day. I did everything with everyone, so I took my first bump and then I got on the top rope for my first day and did squats on it, and did the rolls, take the bumps, and it was rough. Like I didn't get to work out at all for like a couple years because I just stopped doing sports after high school. So it was like 3 or 2 years before I could start doing exercises again. And it was so funny. My trainer, he was like, "You are out of shape," and I'm like, "Yeah, I haven't done anything in 3 years." So, and he was like, "Yeah, you kind of need to fix that." I'm like, "Yeah," but
Yeah.
and and I train in another school too. Like I train at two schools, and I train at the Bronx too. And the ring is really like it hurts your back a lot. So it's like I'm building in tolerance to the pain by taking these bumps. And I have to say, like once you take bumps there, and it's like eventually you get better. Like you just don't feel it anymore. So it's like you just had to toughen up.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like I from some of the wrestlers that I've talked to, like some of them basically feel like they said like you never really get used to it, but then, there has been some that said what you said, and you do kind of build that tolerance, and you do get used to it after, some time. But like what do you say was the most like painful like move that you had done to you?
Oh, this was like not just recent, but like a few weeks before everything happened. I was just at training, and I was like, my other trainer, he suggested something for me, and I was like, okay, but then I had to take power bomb. So I literally took these power bombs, and it's just like it's the it hurts so badly on your back, and I was like, man, if I did not tuck my head, I would have had a concussion. But luckily I didn't. But I was a little out of it, but I made it through.
Have you ever like gotten any like injuries so far in the ring?
Just like a concussion, but it wasn't from like a match. I was just practicing something, and I accidentally landed on my head. So it was like, oh, okay. And then I was talking to someone about it. I was like, yeah, I think I landed on my head, and my head hurts now. And it's like, that's not good. And I'm like, yeah. Anyway, but I usually just ignore that stuff, but now it's pretty serious, I guess. So I'm like, let me just take a step back for a little while till I get it situated. And it was pretty hard to take a step back and just like not do anything, but I eventually got through it. Just like take a break for technology, have like dark lights all over, and sleep mostly. But yeah.
So no broken bones or like torn ACLs or anything. So at least that's good. But I know concussions are really, really serious, especially like long term wise. So you just had one. Hopefully that's the last one, because I know, when they keep like piling up, that could really like, have those really like serious long term effects, and we never want to see that happen.
Yeah, I had like other concussions before that, so I'm like, let me just try not to get another one because that would be pretty bad. But so far I've been pretty good with just protecting my head and just trying to protect my body. I hurt my elbow though. I think I know what match I hurt my elbow to. Like every time I would just land on my elbow, it would just hurt so badly. And they were like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. Just my elbow. It'll be fine in a couple weeks or months."
Or months. Like,
Like, yeah, it's just like I guess it just had to be like that. Like, you never want to just take a step back to things like that when you're so into it. So I'm like, oh, I just had to wrap up my shoulder for a couple months, so weeks, months. Mm.
so how many years have you been wrestling so far?
I've been training since like start of 2018, like late January 2018. I go in and out sometimes because my school semester would end around May, so I would just leave for like 3 months, come back, and then leave again for 3 months. And it was pretty like not consistent because I'm like, what do I do for these 3 months? And he was like, well, you just got to like just get by and just like try to do as much as I can. So I'm like, I need to go to another school for this. So that's when I found school in the Bronx.
So is that where you're like doing your schooling and all right now?
Yes. I go back and forth, not just like training right now because like I can't go there like every day, but I'm planning to go back and train because I really love like my trainers, just getting like the all the like experience from Jimmy, the DJs, the rap, those guys. So
So if like the COVID-19 situation right now, when do you think you're actually going to be able to go back to training and all that? Do you have any word on that?
oh no, not really. Like we've been like trying to figure out, and all we have been doing just like having like Zoom meetings and just like work on promos and character work and those kind of things because like during this time like we need to figure out how to get to the people while not doing matches and just like how to connect with everyone.
So I mean, yeah, like I definitely think like working on your character and promos and stuff like that is like the best thing you can do right now. And like you said, like connecting with the people and all that kind of stuff, like doing stuff like this, like podcasts, like that's always a good thing to do, and just kind of like figure and basically like I would say like ways to kind of like build your own brand and stuff like that. Like I'm noticing a lot of wrestlers, whether they're WWE or independent pro wrestlers, are doing all these things like streaming like gameplay on Twitch, YouTube channels, stuff like. And I know you mentioned too, you're working on some projects as well. So it's kind of like it's a good way to kind of like reinvent yourselves and all that kind of stuff. So there, I mean, this is like a pretty tragic situation, but then there are some good that you can find in it.
Yeah, definitely. Like I've been like trying to figure out myself like what can I do to get better, like just character work in general because for the last couple matches I have just been me. And it's like how to make it like go even farther to be like someone that someone could like I want to like I want to go to the store because of her or like I want to have a meet and greet with her, anything like that. Like I just want to connect with all these people even when I can't like actually see them right now.
So I don't know if it's something that you want to, talk about, but like your project that you've been working on with your, videos, is that something that you kind of want to talk about, or is that something you want to kind of wait for now?
I could actually talk about it. I have been trying to get some videos on reacting to my own matches, and so far been good. I have like 3 matches that I reviewed so far, and they're like probably one of my favorites so far. So I'm like, oh, I have to get these edited so I could just put this out now.
Mm.
The hardest thing for me is the editing part because I have a Chromebook and we don't have the advanced editing of suite software like the Windows and the Apples. And it's like, man, times like this, I wish I could go back to my high school when I could just go to the tech lab and just do my editing there.
Gotcha.
That's yeah, it's
I'm sure you could probably find like programs and all online that you could probably download or something like that that can, help you out with that. I mean, I'm not really personally good at like editing videos and stuff like that, so I mean, I couldn't really recommend any good ones, but I know you could probably search and probably find something good out there.
definitely. I found one I like a lot, so I'm like, Yep, I just gotta get through to uploading and finishing them. So, you'll be expecting it very soon.
Cool. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
So, I'm assuming you grew up a wrestling fan, and you probably, I'm assuming, still are a wrestling fan. So, tell me a little bit about some of your like favorite wrestlers growing up, and then even some of your favorites now.
Wow. So I started watching like around late 2008, 2009, I believe. I think my first memory of it is just like, well, of course, before that, I knew I had a family friend, and he used to play all these wrestling games and whatnot, and he used to watch some wrestling too. So I would just be there sometimes, and I was like, "Who's that?" and all of this, and I just remember Eddie Guerrero and Edge and Ashley Marcel and all these people, and like, wow, that's cool. But the first time I watched a match, it was like a Triple H match, and I just saw this huge dude, and he is huge, and I was like, wow, like he just oozes out like charisma. And this is what someone like who wants to be bigger than life should look like. So ever since then, I've just been obsessed with like Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and I actually don't even like remember like women matches around that time, which is like unfortunate because there was like a couple of good ones, like not to say that there was bad ones, but the ones I remember most were Michelle McCool and Melina and Mickey James. So those are people that I used to grow up on. CM Punk came later on, like 2010, I believe, in SmackDown. Edge, John Cena. So just like around that era, the Ruthless, I believe,
Yeah,
kind of. It's like around that time. Like, is it just the PG era around that?
yeah. I think the PG era started
But
around 2010 or something like that.
yeah, it was I don't remember matches. Like, I don't remember much of it, but I just remember these people, and it was like, wow. And then you would just have like the next is and the CM Punk turn, heel turn, not heel turn, but just like a bigger like what is going on, like yeah, and then the AJ Lee when I feel like I related more to AJ Lee than anyone else because she's more of my stature. She's a little of punk rock is like not as much as Ashley was, but so that's what who I related to most to up to this point when she retired. So I'm like, oh no, I don't relate to anymore.
Yeah, that's sad
Yeah,
that she retired.
that's
She was
mostly who my favorites were.
Yeah, AJ was very popular. We actually just recorded like a spotlight episode for her recently. Haven't put it out yet, but yeah, she was very inspirational to a lot of, female fans, especially the ones who were like kind of like you mentioned, like into like punk rock and stuff like that, because she wasn't your prototypical, I'm a blonde, good looking model. She was like, I'm the punk rock, I'm the geek, I'm gonna be myself and still succeed kind of, wrestler. And I mean, she was just amazing. It sucks that she retired, but hopefully I'm still hoping for a return, to be honest with you.
But I hopefully one day maybe just even for just one match. I would like to be for that one match, but maybe not. I don't know. But it's like, wow, she was doing something special. She was the Becky Lynch of that era, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely. She was
Yeah.
the well booked women on the roster. She was the top of the food chain, and it was just an amazing run that she had. Like her title run never felt old. It never got stale. Which is very, title runs that long, you eventually get kind of boring, but hers it never did.
Yes, yes, definitely. And what I want to like give credit to, even the Bellas, like, sure people don't like them that much, but them and the AJ and the Caitlyn's and even the girls before them, like, all like put in the work for the woman now, like with the Four Horsemen and even EO and the other girls in NXT right now.
Yeah, exactly. So out of all these women that we've been talking about, is there any that you would like to have a match with, down the road?
Man, I Sasha Banks definitely. That's like even like you just have like good match with Sasha Banks. It's like that would just be my top of my list. Like if I ever just do that, I could just like, okay, I'm out. Like I don't need anything else in my life. Um, Sasha been like one of the girls that I look up to as well. Just like her wrestling ability and her character work is just like aces, and I'm like, how could I just learn how to be as good as her, as being so confident and like it's like, oh, I'm the boss. I'm like, oh, okay, she is the boss, I guess.
Hmm. She is. I mean, I like to say she's the best in the business right now. She may not be booked it by WWE, but if you really think about it, when does she not have a bad match? Like she has so much chemistry with everyone.
Right? And even her match with Ronda Rousey was such a good match, and was like that was like one of the top matches from I think in 2019. So I was like, wow, like that's the kind of match that I watched over back and back just like keep watching it just to learn more, like how to just have like solid, smooth like wrestling ability. Like it doesn't get as better than that. Charlotte is pretty up there as well because she's really good as well. But just like me in general, I can't do the things Charlotte do because she's tall as hell and I'm like short. So I'm like, man, if only I have longer legs. But and Becky, she is so good too, but she's like more like athletic to doing more like brawl and kind of style. She like to brawl more and just like she's more of a fighter than the rest of them. And Bailey too. She is just having a whole different style now. Just being a heel and just being like a narcissist, and it's like the one of the best heel character work so far. And I was like, wow, she could really like get someone to not root for her, just hate her, but still want her to win. So
Yeah, because and it's funny because I never in a million years thought I could see her as a heel. She just had such a lovable like hugger gimmick, and I remember saying like, it's not gonna work, it won't work," and she's killing it. Like like you said, some of the best character work out there right now, and she's really owning it. Like, and it's like a lot of people are speculating on who's gonna turn on who when it comes to Bailey and Sasha, and it's like you can't picture. No one wants to see Sasha go back to being, the good person. But then it's like you kind of want Bailey to still stay heel. So I mean, that's just how well Bailey's, been doing, recently.
yes, especially like that whole like promo with them and Charlotte, and you're like, what's going to happen next? It's like, are they like who's going to turn on who next? And Charlotte is just like being the like instigator of the whole thing. When Becky would have done that too, but she's unavailable for the moment. So I'm like, this could be good too. Like, just like a whole triple threat match could happen between them like, at some point, and I would love that too. Yeah, like there. I really can say that the pandemic right now is this. It gets everyone like have the like game on promo style. Like everyone just doing good promos, and I'm like, that's like the best thing right now. Like, sure, having good matches are good too, but what are you going to stay tuned on? Like, do you want to like watch like just a good match? Like, okay, or do you want to watch a good promo that like get you like motivated to keep watching every week?
Yeah, because like promos are, really important in the business. I mean, The Rock is like the perfect example of, how, you can get someone so into a storyline or match or whatever. Because like the one thing is there's a lot of great wrestlers out there in this business. So in order to make yourself stand out from that large group of, wrestlers, you have to have that something that, that spice about your character or like the promo skills. Because I mean, you look at WWE, they have the most talented roster that they've ever had, and the wrestlers who are standing out the most and having the most success are the ones who can do the promos and or have the really good character work, like Bray Wyatt, for example. Like you have to be very well rounded overall as a performer.
Definitely, like you can even see like who is top right now, like Becky and Alexa and Bray. Definitely, Bray is one of the like. This is who I want to like. Who I would want to be like, not like just being like crazy, but like he just gets his own like his own like segment. This is what he talks about, and I'm like, wow. Like he really makes people think, and it's pretty hard for people to do these days and just like, wait, what is he saying? And like, and the puppet, and I'm like, what is going on? And yeah, so he's like, everyone is on top of their game right now, and that's always good for business.
Oh yeah, I think AEW coming into existence has really like put a fire behind WWE because now they have competition and they want to keep, a lot of their fans. They have to, put out, the best product that they can.
Definitely, like it's always good to have competition, like even like with your peers, with like your different companies, like everything. Like
Totally. So, kind of like the last question I wanted to ask you in this, or on this episode. So what are your like top goals for, your wrestling career?
um, let's see. That's like one of like the questions someone people always ask me. I'm like, I don't know yet. I'm like, I'm still in my first year doing matches. It's like obviously like WWE will be always my top goal. That's what I dreamed of when I was a little girl. So it'll be really nice going there. There's always maybe I could go to Japan or NWA. Maybe I was a big fan of Harley Race. So I'm like, it kind of be special if you get the women's title. If I get a women's title and just like, yeah, but just going around the world, I guess too. So there's a lot of goals that I hopefully will hit pretty soon.
Cool. Is there any particular wrestlers on the indie scene that you're looking forward to potentially wrestling in the future?
Just everyone. I just want to fight everyone.
Yeah, I like that man. Just it doesn't matter. I just want to fight. Like that's a good mentality to have.
Yeah, especially you don't want to like leave anyone out, and everyone is so good. Like can't like just mention one without the other. Like I know definitely in the dojo world like roster, the people I really want to wrestle, like the Theo Ivory, who we have a back and forth. Like if you see my matches, you know that me and Theo have a little issue with my hair and stuff. So
I saw
I'm
that.
like, I'm like, I would want to get some revenge on that. Especially when he kicked me in my chest. I'm like, damn, like that hurt like really badly. Like I had to take a second back. I'm like, oh, I can't breathe, guys. But
Yeah, I think you posted that video where like a clip or something on your Facebook where you were getting kicked. I think that was the video that you're talking about.
yeah, a lot of people like that. I'm like, thanks, guys. Like that really hurt. But Cam and Bam Bam definitely like we had a small like match kind of in IWW Imperial World Wrestling, but we haven't watched the match yet. I would love to just tear up with her again. She's one of my favorite people in wrestling in general. So like just like for the guys, like just everyone honestly on that roster too, like I know like I'm one of the smaller people, so someone like Aaron asked to like it'd be like really cool just like fight a really big dude and just like get destroyed. I would love to have another match with Nico Gray and just get that revenge as well because he kind of just snuck up on that finisher and won that match when I had his number throughout that match. So, and it was a very short match, so I would love to have a longer one with him. And just everyone in general.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like you said, it's everyone. What was the longest match you've done so far?
Especially on my tag team match, it was like the longest one, and it felt like forever. It was like 15 minutes in reality, but it felt like 20 minutes and a half an hour because like there's so much going on. Like it's like 6 people, so it's me, 2 other girls, and 3 guys, and we just want to hurt each other and like we get kicked, just get snatched off. I'm like, what is going on? Everyone just laughing. I'm like, what? And we're just having fun, and that's like the best part about wrestling. You're just having fun, and when you're having fun, everyone have fun. The crowd was so into it. They were laughing, and they were just like, what is this? And I was like, what is going on? Like, why am I here? Falling off. So that was like a pretty long match. Like if you watch it, it's like so long.
Yeah, but like that's the thing going back to like having fun. Like you said, when you're having fun in the ring, the crowd, they could feel that energy, and then they start having fun. If they tell you're just kind of coasting in the match and you just don't like care, they can tell that, and it'll become boring to them. So like you said, just having fun is like one of the most important things you can do while performing in the ring.
Yes, and it's so important. Like especially like when you have people to go, like me and Dio have something like we could just like go off on each other because like we have that history kind of, but like you could just like always like have that little banter and stuff like that, and just like people just like react to that. And especially on my other tag match with me and Nevaeh Santo and Dio and the other guys, we were having this match, and we just had this banter for like just for like couple seconds before the match did start. But I feel like it's really important to have that like part of that match. Like this is where you could just have that connection of why are we fighting each other, even though like that was for the tag team medal of valor, like just like having that match. But like you saw in our match, it was just me and Dio the whole time, and the guys should just like back off. So I'm like, oh, I don't know these y'all. Y'all could just fight each other. and we were just like sneaking in the end and just but
Mhm.
it's just so fun. Just like to have a little banter, like like I was like, I'm just going to fight you, and how I say it, like it always makes me laugh because they're like, what? And I was like, okay, I don't know why I say that, but I'm just going to say this. Like I felt so unconvincing too. I was like, I'm going to fight you. You know what? I'm going to fight you. And they're like, what? Okay. I'm like, okay, guys. Like I look like a teddy bear, but I would still fight you. But anyway.
Mhm.
But that's the like best part about wrestling. Just having fun with everyone and just like making people laugh. Like most of my matches, I just make people laugh because my heel come off, and I'm like, okay, and just go with it.
Yeah, you have to just go with it because if you just kind of make it awkward, then it just becomes kind of awkward for the fans. Like I went to an MCW event, and I won't say the name of the women, the female's name or whatever, but her like wig kind of like came off like halfway, but she just kept wrestling, like she just went with it versus kind of like panicking while she just kept going. And I mean, the crowd had a nice little laugh, but then they just kind of went on with just going back to cheering for the match and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, here is like really here is like really it just almost come off, and that happened a lot to me because I don't know, but it gets really aggressive out there, especially this battle royal I was in, and I'm just getting manhandled because that's what happened when you're a small girl like me. But I'm like, oh my god, my hair! I don't want it to fall off. And it's like, wow, guys.
Yeah, I mean,
But
that's not
yeah,
usually plan. I mean, I guess some matches that may be part of the show, but yeah, you don't typically plan on that. And there's a lot of things you may not plan on, happen in a match, but something you just have to go with it at the end of the day.
yeah, it's like just like you know what, just like it's happened. But like when it do happen, you just have to like take it like, even like take it farther and just make it into something like um when I like in one match that happened, I just ripped my heel out. I'm like, I'm just going to try to, just do this, and then I get my head slammed into a chair, no stairs, and I was like, okay, and then I get rolled back in the ring. And another thing that happened to me a lot is like wardrobe malfunction. It's like my shirt keep coming up, and I'm like, why? Like, stop doing this. And it's just so awkward just looking back on it because I'm like, my bra is just showing and it's just awkward. But it happens. That's what happens when you're in a fight. Your hair come off, your clothes is just not happen. So
Yeah, I mean, I've seen videos online of like people like in real fights, and that's it happens there too. I mean, it's just sometimes it's uncontrollable when your arms are swinging and you're just in the moment and everything.
yeah, like just that's just me now. I'm just a fighter.
Yep,
It's,
exactly.
I'm just a fighter. I just fight people and things happen.
So, Dabria, I think that wraps up our interview. So, thank you so much for joining us today here at O Face Wrestling.
Thank you so much. And again, I really am appreciative and grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very appreciative to have you on the show. Do you want to share any of your social media with us?
Okay, my Instagram is Dabria_X, and that's same for my Twitter, and my Facebook is Dabria Xavia, Xavia, and that's where you could find me at. And I just opened a T-shirt store too at teespring.com, and if you come by to my Instagram and my Facebook, you will see the link on my profile.
Awesome, and I'll make sure I share that on my social media too to help you out. So yeah, make sure you all follow her on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Same with us. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, like us on Facebook. And thank you all for tuning into today's episode. And once again, thank you again so much for joining us here today on the show.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.